to see you.
Okay, everyone, welcome back to Code Vein. Today, I am going to, before we head on into the road to 100 for the 100% run, I just wanted to kind of lay down a little bit of the rules and a little bit of kind of what I'm going to be going for the 100% run because we will be, what in the world? Sorry, we will be running into the setup for obtaining all the vestiges and all the consumables and everything that we can find and all the chests and everything in the game. We'll be running all the depths and everything, so it will be a full run because we will be on to the 30th star, and every 10 stars we will be completing a run like this. Now, typically when we do a run, we will always be um, following some kind of theme. For the 100% runs, there will be no theme except one rule and one rule only is I do what I want, and because it's just a lot more fun to run it that way. So I want to kind of share with you how I go about creating these harebrained ideas and kind of what I do and how I put things together, and just to kind of fill you in on how I go about investigating the game and how I determine what I pick and how I pick it. So first of all, this dummy bag here, this is the place to be to figure out what to do and how to attack and what you need to attack with. So here at the dummy bag is where I do a lot of the damage testing, a lot of the gift testing, almost everything that I try here at the speed bag, and then I just play around and use gifts and see how to do it. But to determine which blood code I want to go for, typically what I'll do is I'll pick a weapon or something. I'll pick anything that is of interest, something that maybe isn't used too much, something that isn't widely talked about or widely seen, and I'll pick it and then I'll look at the stats for it. Like the Judgment Edge, it has a required stats of B, and then or like the Lost Zweihander. And I'll pick on the Lost Zweihander as I've only gotten it twice, and it's a pretty unique, interesting weapon. So something like this, and this is how I came up with this EOS build here, which we'll maybe show off here a little bit and see how it actually runs. So we'll pick on the Lost Y, and so I pick that, and I see that it has a required stat of D plus, and I think, well, what would be a crazy way to go about this two-handed weapon? Well, and since we've been doing gifted things and light gifting, we just came off the light gifted run, then I would go for something like this. So I would look at EOS, and the long painful way to go about it is looking through all the blood codes at the required stats here, and going through and picking and looking at all these. But ain't nobody got time for that. So what I do is I alt tab out and I go to my spreadsheet here that I have created for myself. Now S's are in blue, and then we go down from there. A's are green, B's are this orange color, C's are this bright red, D's are the dark red, and E's are the black. And then I gave every blood code or every stat a weighted value, as I'll show you here in this column. So I gave everything a weighted value. You can see the equation up here at the top. If it's fortitude of an S plus, then give it 6 points. If it's just an S, then give it 5.5 points. If it's an A plus, give it 5 points, so on and so forth. And then that allows me to grant every blood code an arbitrary score that I've come up with based on what the values are. So you can see right away which are the blood codes that, so if we start by my arbitrary number, you'll see that one blood code stands out at the top as it has the most high value conglomerate of stats, which is kind of interesting, as my arbitrary system here sort of aligns with the lore of Code Vein, as Ishtar is Cruz's blood code and she became the queen. And ironically enough, her blood code is the one at the top of the pile, which is very interesting to me, to say the least. Now, that, as you've seen in the Road to 100 and all the speed kills and everything, you can pick any blood code to do any kind of thing. It's just how you outfit it, and so on and so forth. Um, but it's just really cool to see that Cruz's blood code, if you weight everything based on a conglomerate value scoring system, based on all the stats from the blood code, then her blood code, interestingly enough, shines at the very top. And it is a normal mobility with 100 weight class. It has 30 I-core attached to it, and it has very good stamina. So if I want to see what are the stamina blood codes, Ishtar is here at number 4. So it's a very good stamina blood code. It's a very good I-core blood code for balance. Let's see, where does Ishtar hit? It would be somewhere, what was it, 156 right here. So it's fairly low on balance. So if you take hits, you can get staggered pretty easily out of it, but it makes up for it in a lot of different ways. So if we sort by health and see where Ishtar lands, 3167 is not very high. It's right here, and as you can see, it's kind of the middle of the pack here amongst all the blood codes for health. And it's just a nice, handy, quick, fast, easy way for me to see which blood code I would need and how they all stack up against each other. Like if I'm looking for like how I found the EOS build that I'm putting together there for adventuring, I would say, oh, I want something by strength, but I want it with a high mind. So I can see right away all the extremely high strength value blood codes, and I can see right here that this set is all the strength blood codes that I would be interested in. And none of them truly stand out to me. And then I can look here at EOS and I see, well, it has a strength of B, but it has an A plus mind, so it has the highest mind out of all the strength blood codes. But also it's not too horrible at a B, so it kind of helps me organize my thoughts, and it kind of helps me figure out some different things here to be able to put ideas together. And then once I figure out an idea, then I go over to my boss listing tab, and I look through here at my damage listings for weaknesses. Now this health bar here is based on my poison kills and some different testing I've done, so these are my guesses. These values are the actual confirmed values based on poison damage and other one-shots and things that I've done on my own time to verify that these values are correct. So at the highest level of the game, I hope to fill this out by the time we get to 100 stars. But you can see here I have everybody listed, and so if I'm looking at whoever has what kind of weakness, then I put a check mark there, and then I continue on, and we make sure that we actually know what actual damages are good versus which bosses in the game. And then down here I have my equation sheet that I've been working on, and as you can see, we have quite a few rows and across the top here, or columns, sorry. And the value here for the new scaling column is going to be extremely long. I've only gotten through Adrenaline, Bridge to Glory, Overdrive, Offensive Order, and Blow of Madness, as those are the easiest to program. And as you can see here, the first list is for L2, which is Adrenaline, and if the EOS Chrome is selected here in column I2, then your damage multiplier, because multipliers are dependent upon the base value of the weapon. So if we go back to the code vein here, and you'll see that the Y, or the lost Y, where is it? Here we go. It has a high base of 870. It is the highest base damage out of all the two-handed weapons. So if you're looking for something that you want to pair with Bridge to Glory and go for lots of multipliers, the Lost Y is the highest possible damage when you're gifting a two-handed sword. So this is the definitive highest base damage that you can go for, and you can see here that the Argent Wolf King's Blade is a little bit less. Let's see, what are some of the other big ones here? The Blanched Greatsword is less by quite a bit. The Azure Greatsword is less by a little bit. Obviously, we can't use this, but the base damage is about 140 less, so that's significant. And the regular Zweihander, if you look at even a couple of these base damages here, but the best way to look at how a weapon is going to perform is here at a level 1 when it hasn't been upgraded, or level 0 I guess, and you look at the base damage, so 244, 227, 282, that's very good, 222, pretty bad, 265, not too bad, that's pretty good, and here's a 243, and a couple of others here. So you can look at these in the shop also from Rin, and she shows you what the base values are. But the Lost Y comes in at 290 on a unupgraded regular two-handed sword, so that's why this is the optimal choice here for running the EOS build. And so if we come back here, so once I figure out all these things, I will have this spreadsheet completely filled out, and I'll be able to just toss things in here, and it will tell me whether it's a hammer or so on and so forth, and we will be able to figure all those things out. So once I pick a blood code and I look at it, then I come on over to the Code Vein Builder website, sethclydesdale.github.io, very nice name, and then I start filling things out. So I pick up EOS, and then I start filling out the tree here of all the abilities and different things, and then I look at the required stats, you know, for each veil and weapon, and then we start into the build to go about figuring out what we're going to need here. Now, since the Lost Zweihander is extremely heavy paired with the Daybreak Thunderfang, we're always going to be slow no matter what blood code we choose, and no matter what we do in this setup in this manner. So it doesn't really matter to us to go for, you know, something different. So even if we would go for like an Isis and trade up here this for Revenant's Ambition, we can get into normal, but as you can see here with the Azure Greatsword, we're definitely in the slow category. So the Lost Y is a possibility to you know, do some extra things here. So it's kind of interesting. And then once I pick these up, then I pop them into the website, and you know, go create, upload a video, and then we figure out where we're going from there. So here on the channel, a little bit of an update here. We're at 64 subscribers, as you can see. So thank you all for you know, joining me here and seeing what goes on in Code Vein. And here's these cards that they show up. I wish I could just hide these panels. They're not of interest to me usually. And this panel here, the Creator Insider, I'm sure somebody somewhere finds use in this, but that is not exactly useful for me, as it has no multipliers for Code Vein, so it doesn't help me out. Then if we look at some of the analytics here, let's see what's going on. So let's look at the reach. This is all kind of interesting. Let's go back to the last 365 days, so it'll give you the full graph here. And if we look at the audience, so this is kind of interesting here when your viewers are on YouTube. Now, it seems that at noon most days, everybody's online, so that's kind of cool. But maybe I should put the videos to go live at noon. Maybe that would help everyone have more access to it. But I mean, it is on the website, and you know, everybody can kind of see it. So our countries of interest here, we've got quite a very international group here. So if you see your country listed here, you are representing, as the United States looks to be the most views, but definitely not the most percentage as compared to the rest of the world. But that's kind of cool that it's such an international audience. So I wonder if this shows that Code Vein was pretty successful around the world, but not so much in the U.S. I'm not exactly sure if that's actually true or not. I haven't looked any of that up, but that's kind of neat to see that you know we've got just as much involvement here in the U.S. as we do around the entire rest of the world of people that are playing Code Vein. So kind of neat to see these graphs and how at the beginning everybody was from the U.S. who was watching, and then right around here, April 23rd, we started getting some international involvement. Now I'm not exactly sure how accurate this thing is, because you can spoof your location and different things, and do VPNs and different things. So I don't know how accurate this is, but if you are represented here, I think that's kind of neat, and thank you for showing up and showing your support. So let's see here. Let's go to engagement. This is reach. Yeah, reach. So this is kind of a neat thing that unique viewers. This is kind of a cool idea here that there's more than 2,500 people that have showed up to the channel here. Oh, there's the exact number, 2516. So that's kind of cool that that many people have stopped by and spent some of their time here looking at the harebrainness and craziness that we do here. And then we have the comments tab, and you can see I've put some comments out there, but I can't get rid of them because it's something that I don't want to respond to of my own self. So that's kind of annoying that those are there even. So if we go back to the analytics, this is kind of neat that watching the watch time and when people are actually interested in sitting down and watching a 30-40 minute video. And as you can see here, for some reason everybody loved episode 57, that's at 13 hours watched. So not exactly sure, but it's kind of neat to see when and why these things happen. There's also another interesting thing here in views, I believe it is. Is it device type? And this is neat because it shows how most of everybody is watching, whether they're on a computer, a mobile phone, or a console, or a tablet, or a TV. I didn't even know. I guess that would be like smart TVs, probably, that people are watching on, and they have the YouTube app on their smart TV. I don't have a smart TV, so I wouldn't know, but I would guess that's that's the case. So shout out to the Mr. TV or Mrs. TV who's watching on the TV there. You are definitely on the charts here. So it looks like everybody's watching on mobile, or the majority of everybody is watching on their phones. So maybe these higher res videos or higher frame rates are better for phones these days, as people are getting into the 144 refresh rates on their phones, and 120 hertz and 60 hertz and different things. Everybody's moving up 90 hertz. So it's kind of interesting to see that maybe because mobile is more accessible for everybody, they have more access to their phones, so they watch more on their phones. I just think that's kind of neat. There's a whole bunch of different things here that you can pick up and watch and learn, but these are all kind of interesting, but there's still no multipliers here for Code Vein, so it's interesting to see, but it still doesn't help me get faster kills. Now this is neat to see that there's a whole bunch of like listings that you can see here from all your previous videos. I do like it that you can sort by comments and views and likes and things, and the visibility and when it was published and stuff. So that's kind of neat to see, and the thumbnails actually jog my memory when people have questions and things, and I go back through and I'm like, oh, which one was that? I think that was the one with the dark angel on the front, or the white angel on the front, or so on and so forth. So it's kind of neat to see, or the orange angel. So it's kind of neat to see how that kind of goes around. yeah, you can see here that the next video is coming tomorrow morning, and that should be up tomorrow. And it's kind of a sad ending to the road to 128 stars, but it's at least an ending, and we can move on to the 100% runs. So that's kind of neat, and so that's kind of how I run, setting up things and experimenting and stuff. So to kind of give you an idea here, so this does 3958 on a tormenting blast, and if we use simply two gifts, Bridge to Glory and Adrenaline, and we do it again, that's 9145, so it's about a 2.5 times multiplier there for Tormenting Blast, simply going for a couple of gifts here. And if we would pair up with Eva, we would get an extremely high damage, and we can also do this and a gift accelerator, and do this and this, and that is extremely fast. And our charge attack, as we've seen in the past, is just a simple charge attack, but that is an extremely quick damaging attack there. So if we head on down to let's say the Town of Sacrifice, as that is a slashing area. Now the Lost Y does slash and crush, so that's really nice to have two abilities like that packed into one weapon. Let's drink some water here, as that is kind of the main majority of damage types in the game, as they are slash and crush. Okay, so let's see what Eva gets us here, and we'll go for blood sacrifice here and see what craziness we get into here with the with our gifts and such. Okay, and we'll look at the damage value, as I have not even looked at the damage value yet, as where that ends up, but it's kind of nice to kind of experience these things together. And let's see what Eva gets us up to here, as we have crazy stupid light value 2650. Okay, and this fella's up to 3275, so that is just unbelievable bonkers value of damage there. And if we wanted to go for a little more damage, we could go for like a flame weapon and get some fire damage on here, and we could go for the Wrathful Balmung and get some more fire damage. I guess we could go for a butterfly kill here real quick, since we're here. Why not? Let's see, and maybe this, and maybe an accelerator. We probably won't be in there very long, as she'll probably go down fairly quick. But I guess we could go for hasten. Sure, we'll go for hasten, and we'll be quick mobility, good, and we'll do this. Okay, so this is kind of how my thought process goes, and how everything kind of works out when I go through setting these things up. Okay, so here we go. Let's see if we can actually do it in one run here. Whoops, I should have not done that yet, but oh well. We're on this road, and there's no going back. Okay, there we go, and this. Good, and we'll go for this, and where is Tormenting Blast? Let's see, there we go. Okay, and the fire damage, there we go, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and we'll go back to the fire damage. Okay. Okay. There we go. Now she's weak to slash, so we will have to keep an eye on that. Okay. There we go. There we go. Now that is crush damage that we do there. Okay. So she's backing up, so let's go for this. Okay. There we go. So you can see that the damage here is pretty good. There we go. Whoops. Okay. Let's hit her with a, whoop, we're dead. Okay. Now we are going to die fairly quickly here from poison. So let's hit her with a very quick Tormenting Blast. So there you go. So that would be kind of a first cut run of how I would go about doing a kill like this, and then I would refine it to go for a little bit more maybe hard hitting different things at the beginning or at the end, and I would then refine it, and then I would put it into a single video, and then I would go for a screenshot, and then I would put it up to the website. So I hope you all found that interesting and exciting, and kind of a insight behind the scenes here on how I do things here. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you in the next Road to 100 video.